Talking about four stocks. Let me get that presentation up here so you guys can see it in presentation mode. Loading up, almost ready. There we go. All right, so we're going to be talking about four stocks that I am trading today, and stocks that I think represent some pretty interesting opportunities here. I have talked about some of these most recently, both on our live stream as well as with reporters that have talked to me about opportunities that we see in the market. Over at Market Rebellion, of course, we're pretty much trading throughout the day. So there's hardly a day that goes by that we're not. So with that said, folks, let me show you this. At 4 p.m. Eastern time tonight, we're going to be doing a live webinar. That is free. All you have to do is secure your seat. Just off of our website, you can sign up, and that will start at 4 p.m. Eastern time. In other words, we will begin that webinar. Myself and our chief option strategist, Ryan Mastro, we will be delivering what we think is a pretty exciting look at the best swing trading environment that I've ever seen. Now, we said in the last 30 years, been a trader for 38 years, but I think this is a fantastic opportunity for swing trading. And so we're going to highlight that. And for all of you, I encourage you to sign up for it because I know you're going to like the information. All right, let's get right into it. I promised you four stocks. I'm going to give you four stocks. These four stocks that I'm talking about right now are, first of all, Gilead. Why Gilead? Well, when you look at that chart, folks, you're seeing that at the beginning of March, it was back to being about a $68, $69 stock. Then it ran all the way to 80. And that was very quick. It only took it a few days, maybe let's call it a week. And then it bled all the way off. And as it bled off and got back down towards 68, we thought it represented a tremendous opportunity. Obviously, Carrie Firestone, a friend of ours and a friend of CNBC Halftime Report, she, who used to run biotech over at Fidelity, one of their biotech portfolios, said, we're not talking about basically vaccines here with these guys yet, but we are saying that they have the potential to have a treatment. And you'll hear more and more about that sort of thing, folks, a treatment, cocktails and so forth. The president outlined how he is cutting red tape so that we can get some of these life-saving, in some cases, medicines to people in time while they're some of those minority, because it is still a minority of folks that are going to suffer these life or death consequences. But we all have a responsibility to not spread this, to do the social distancing and thus flatten the curve. But something like what Gilead has been working on certainly could be one of those cocktails. And Jim Cramer, another friend of mine, has been talking about this one in particular as well. And look at the move we've made, folks, from 69 to 81, and it took it all of 2 or 3 days. That's one of the opportunities that I'd like to highlight for you guys right here, right now. Now, what I'm doing, I must say, is that in the case of this one, I didn't sell, and this is not about me buying the bottom at 68 or selling the top at 81. It's not about that at all. It's about finding the opportunity, putting on a trade in options where they are available, and this one does have options, of course, and then taking profits off the table when you get them. Because when we're talking at 4 p.m. Eastern time tonight about swing trading, that's what swing trading is about, folks. These are not investments that I'm making for months and months or years and years. There are some stocks that maybe I'd think about for that, but these are opportunities that come around. And did I sell it at 80 last time and buy it back at 68? No, but I was getting into it at 69 and I was getting out of it in the mid to high 70s, and it went all the way to 80. Okay, shame on me. I know you guys get it. Those of you who are really traders get it, that we're not about buying bottoms and selling tops, but there's a lot left over in the middle here that we can take advantage of. And that's what I try to do every day. So this is the first opportunity of 4 that I'm talking about today. Gilead, Gild. Second opportunity, Starbucks. Why Starbucks? Well, as you can see from basically a week ago on that Black Friday, just kidding, as it rallied and traded up towards probably $70 a share or so. The very next day it opened down hard, and we just kept plumbing lower and lower. And look at how low we got. We got all the way down to about $52 a share. Now we are seeing a pretty nice, backing filling sort of pattern here. Is it still an investment? For some of you maybe, but for me it's a trade. All of these that I'm showing you right now are for trades. And this one, the CEO said that they learned from China about how to deal with closures of stores. Of course, Starbucks, being one of the premier brands in the world, is certainly back in demand in China with those stores open. And many of the stores here in the United States that I walk by are still open, but they just don't want us to congregate and stay and drink or enjoy the product there. Many folks who had been using Starbucks as their de facto Wi-Fi provider are probably not real happy about that either, but they are fulfilling people's demand for caffeine and related products, but it's on a takeout basis. Nonetheless, look at the nice rally today, over 6% here in Starbucks, and I have taken off nearly all, I'd say about 70% of what I put on as it slammed down yesterday. Now, take a look at another one. Here's the next one, Allied Health Products. So what do these guys do? Well, do they make ventilators? Well, they make respiratory care devices. If you want to call them ventilators, they're not really the same as the ones you'd see in the big hospitals because, quite frankly, a lot of those are made by the biggest healthcare companies, and this is not the biggest healthcare company. But because it's not, it makes outsized moves. So Allied Health, which is again symbol AHPI, that's Alpha, Harry, Papa, India. This one has made a 26% move today. And look at the gap from $19 and change yesterday to slamming all the way up through 26 today. And at mid-session, hanging around 25. Again, is this a long-term trade? Am I going to stay in this one for weeks and weeks? Probably not, but I think it was a great opportunity. And look at how that how it kind of progressed across here when it was pretty flat for several days, right around that 14 level, and then started to see increases in volume. You know, my brother Pete and I are all about seeing blocks of options in the case of stocks with big option volumes and blocks of stock being purchased. I want to see those blocks moving up like that for me to chase in, and that's just what we saw here. So we chased in, knock on wood. All right, last one, Uber. Now this is one that I think a lot of people, I started talking about this one with a friend of mine, a reporter, Angie Miles, and she was saying, John, what do you see here? And I say, well, I think we're going to get a washout in here. Again, long term, I don't know. But I think we're going to get a panic sell because so many cars in Uber's fleet are empty. People are just not using a lot of the ride-sharing services right now. They are using Uber Eats. They are having groceries delivered with Uber, but those are different profit margins for the drivers and the company. So you can imagine that a lot of that harsh sell-off that you saw there, where we came down from upper left to lower right on the graph, a lot of that was because people realized that Uber wasn't doing its normal course of business at all. And this is not one of those, oh, let me trade from home. Let me drive people from home. Not yet. That's not what Uber does yet. So I think below 15, though, we had a great opportunity. And now you see a 36-point pop, bang, in one day. Um, Tremendous opportunity. I'd keep my eye on Grubhub too. Why? Because any of these places that deliver food are in high demand right now, and Grubhub doesn't have, they're not in, have they don't have the same impediment with the drivers and dealing with riders and drivers. Instead, this is just like Grubhub passing people back and forth and using its facilities to basically say, hey, do you want to support those businesses in your neighborhood, the ones you want to go back to after COVID-19 is past? The answer for many of us is yes. I put out a video to that effect last weekend. I think it's important to focus on keeping these businesses alive, the ones you want to support. And one way of doing that is gift certificates that you can buy online. And another is, of course, going through Uber Eats, Seamless, Grubhub, any number of places that will deliver to you foods that you might need or want from your home, and ordering those rather than going out to the restaurants yourself. So this one, like I say, fabulous pop. Hats off to my buddy Angie Miles over there at Business First AM, because we talked with her about this one, and I love the activity in here. And look at the volume today. Again, I'm all about volume. So with that said, folks, let me just leave you with this. Whoops, there's our traders again. Bang! Traders, I love seeing the traders in the pits. I hope we get to go back to that. But here we have, after the close today, Ryan Mastro and I are going to be presenting best strategies to dominate this market and this down market. Best swing trading opportunities in 30 years, folks. Make sure you sign up. We'll be talking to you later today about that. And I appreciate you joining me today on Market Rebellion Television.